So what I want to pass it on right now is to Sharada to give us a little bit about those pain points and what she has experienced in her career and what she's seen. So Sharada, if you can please go ahead and help us here.
Yes, Khalid. So these are the top 5 things that came into my mind when I was trying to put down the pain points, because these are the pain points that I have really gone through when we were trying to implement Agile. So the top one would be about like documentation versus minimalism, right? So what Agile emphasizes is always a working software over a comprehensive documentation. But when we look at validation, we need extensive documentation in whatever we are trying to do, have an objective evidence in place. If we are testing, have end-to-end documentation. So that was my topmost pain point, to ensure that we have documentation that is just enough documentation versus what is required, and how do we still do it as a working software for Agile development. And moving on, I also thought when we are looking at Agile and then CSA, the aspect of approaching it as an iterative development, where we do the DBT, the design, build, and test throughout in an incremental manner, versus what do we have as a final product validation. So while we say that we deliver in an Agile way with incremental product features, is it ready for validation yet? Was one of the pain points that I have practically faced as part of my experience. And moving on further down, the real challenge is, how do we define the definition of done? It is not just for Agile, right? So we are talking about Agile CSA. So in Agile, done is often defined as we are delivering the working software that meets the user stories and that meets the acceptance criteria. But in validation, what do we need additional? Like we need to have a documented evidence, we need to have a traceability, we need to have sign-offs in place before we start anything. So there was always a dilemma about how do we really define the definition of done for an Agile CSA. And other pain areas that I personally experienced was collaboration and communication, because it is cross teams, across multiple co-located, where we will have teams that are working in a development way, in testing, and then we have quality, and bringing all of them together and making sure that we are fully aligned, we are not delayed for development, we are not delayed for the working software, and we are not facing any validation delays, was always a challenge in terms of collaboration and communication. And finally, balancing the speed versus quality, right? So it is not about choosing one over the other. It is always to ensure that we deliver it in an Agile way with a rapid iteration, and also have a frequent delivery of working software, while we still maintain the quality of the product. So managing or striking balance between these two was always the pain point that I have faced so far, Khalid.
Thank you. Thank you.